Pleasant Wednesday evening, everyone. Pleasant Wednesday evening, everyone. How about a double welcome there from from the channel? Hey, it's okay. Never bad to have more than one hello. And we're a little late getting going tonight. It's Small Airport Wednesday. We're in Papua New Guinea. We are getting ready to do a little test run from Kokoda to Emo Mission. And again, this is some scenery that I've had in the past, but I thought it would be fun to test it out and see how it's looking. I've installed it, but have not had a chance to see how it looks, and so see if the elevation and all that good stuff is looking good. So trying to get things loaded up here real quickly, and yeah, just seeing if we're able to remember how to fly this route. I'll be honest with you, it's been a little while, and I roughly know how to fly it, but yeah, it's a departure. Depending on the wind, it's a departure and a right-hand turn up this little valley here, and yeah, well, let's see if we can find it. It's not a very long flight. I don't know, probably 20 minutes or so. Taking a look at our conditions right now on the ground here at Kokoda. Surface winds 137 at 5. Partly cloudy. Sorry about that. Looks like we have a few clouds at 6,800, and so that is an issue here. The weather can really swirl in around these mountains and trap you kind of unexpectedly. A little drink of water, see if I can get my cough to settle down here a little bit. But yeah, so let's get this de Havilland DHC-2 Beaver fired up. I did fly this the other day, so I hope I have fuel in it. I didn't check at the end of the flight. So we'll have to wait and see kind of what shakes out after we get it started. And a few pulls on the wobble pump, get that fuel pressure up there into the green. That looks good. We'll hit the primer a couple, 3-4 times. We haven't started this up today yet, so we will give that three pulls, and then battery. Get the fuel pump going. We'll watch that. Yep, that fuel pressure looks good. We are we're on the rear, which is where we want to start if we have fuel, which it looks like we're all topped off. Mags are on. Here comes the starter. Brake is on, by the way. And there she goes. Turn the fuel pump off. We'll turn the alternator. And it looks like we accidentally had the avionics already turned on. Okay, let that guy start to warm up. That looks good. Move the prop lever full forward. Bring this guy back down to idle, and we're just about ready to rock and roll. Not a very difficult aircraft to get set up, and that's kind of why I like it. Beacon light, nav lights can come on. Don't have to worry about pitot heat. Shouldn't have to worry about instrument lights or anything like that either right now. Altimeter was 2955, so let's get that set here. Oops, 995, excuse me. So if I can, oh, it's not going to let me. Why? Okay, well, 29 or 9 or 6, I guess that's going to have to be close enough for whatever reason. And that looks to me like we're pretty close. Right in there. And again, the winds were 137. So actually, I think what we'll do is yeah, it's going to be kind of a tailwind, no matter, or kind of a crosswind. But I think if we go down to the far end of the runway here, it's actually going to be a little bit better for us. So that's going to be the plan for takeoff, at least right now. And alright, just double checking kind of a last few things here. Well, let's see what fun we can have here flying around. And we do need to also just check out the overall scenery for Papua New Guinea. It's part of the package that you get with Orbix, the Australian Holger mesh, I think is what they call it. And this scenery actually is part of the Jackson's International Airport that you get when you purchase that scenery. You get that as well as those infamous little grass strips that are strewn throughout the mountains here in Papua New Guinea, and they're a lot of fun to fly around and try to find. And I don't know that I've found them all yet, but I've tried to, and I don't know that I'm very good at landing at them all, but like I say, it's fun to try, and there are some guys that are very, very, very good at it. There's a guy named Robin Tackelander, I think is how you say his name, and he's kind of a DCS guy, but his other, I guess, claim to fame is that he can land any plane, just about any GA plane that you can throw at him here in these mountains, and do it almost perfectly. He's got a video where he actually is taking I think a Baron up in here. I'll have to go look, but he was happy because it was an 8A aircraft, and of course it simulates damage, and this particular aircraft had a history of simulating prop strikes because it's a pretty low to the ground plane, and so he was not very happy about that. But the upgrade, it helped him out, and he was able to fly into and out of 5 or 6 of these of these little grass strips. So we're just trying to find one. We're trying to find the strip that's called EMO Mission, and again we're departing roughly to the south. We're going to take a left-hand turn and head east up this little valley here, and see if I can remember which it'll be then for us. A right-hand turn into the valley that takes us to the EMO mission. Alright, oops, I need to do this first. I'm sorry. I need to lean out and make sure that we get the max power. Let's bring this back to 1700 and get this leaned out for power. RPM's coming up a little bit. We are at altitude here, so it's kind of nice to get as much power as you possibly can. And alright, I think that's going to be pretty close. And we are ready. Boy, it's nice to be making a flight. I've had a couple of long days at work back to back, and I almost didn't come down here tonight. Almost just said, what the heck, oh boy, now I'm trying not to run over the cones. But now that I'm down here, I'm glad I did. It's a good way to relax at the end of the day. And one last bouncity bounce, and we are airborne. Just a good little way to wind down. Alright, climbing out. We probably will keep it down here. There's obviously no ATC. There's No traffic. We're the only guy. We're on the only show in town here, as it were. And so we'll probably just keep it down fairly low here. Altitude's not too bad, I guess, down here in the Kokoda Valley, so only 1,000 feet or so. But I don't plan on climbing any more than about 2,000, which is basically what I have to climb. Okay, flaps coming up. And off we go. Bring our RPMs and manifold pressure back. Don't have to be in a big hurry here. There's 2,000. We'll just kind of let the plane trim itself out. We'll see about where we're at here and keep our speed, yeah, around 120 or so. Fun plane, no question about it. And so what I have to do is I've got to remember which one of these ravines I go up, and the way I remember it, hopefully the scenery has installed similarly, is there's one that has a river that goes up to the right. You follow that river, there's kind of a neat little waterfall up by the airfield, and it's a one-way in, one-way out deal. I believe it's kind of an east-west orientation, but it's been a while. Just a very nice scenery package here. Lots of good bush flying if you like that kind of stuff. Lots of challenging. I guess I could have been over that valley a little bit, but lots of challenging approaches and departures. And you need a plane that's kind of cut out for it. I've seen a lot of different ones in here, but something that's kind of in that stall category is really what you want. Good beefy airframe, solid suspension, and a lot of power to weight ratio. Alright, so there is I think that's, I don't know if that's the river that we follow, but I seem to remember that seems to jog my memory a little bit. And then up here somewhere it kind of starts heading to the right, which would be south, I guess, and that's the one we want to follow. I don't know if that's it or if there's a little tributary in here. I'm thinking that may be it right there, the bigger one that we're seeing. Maybe I'm not seeing anything right here, but that's the turn that we need to make. And you can see the weather, it can be a factor. It's actually part of what's really fun when it comes to flying down here. It you can, like I say, just get socked in in a hurry. So you have to kind of be paying attention. It's just, again, just a lot of just one of the many challenges of flying in this area. Definitely, like I say, definitely enjoyable, and yeah, just don't get down here often enough. There's no doubt about that. All right, as we're flying, let me see if I can pull up what I'm using here. Sometimes there's questions about that. We are, of course, in P3D. I'm going to pull up the Orbix Direct. Let me get that. I'll pull that up on the other screen so I can keep an eye peeled, because I got to make this turn here. But yeah, in the Oceanic tab, here's, I think I have time. Here's what I've got. So the Oceanic tab, it's the EMO mission, and then the Jackson's International that you want here. And then I have also the, I mean, there's a bunch of freeware things, but I have, what's important here is the this AU, this Holger mesh, and the PNG, the Papua New Guinea. And I can't, I honestly don't remember if those are, what those cost, if I picked those up for free or exactly what, but that's what we're using. There is also, as you maybe saw there, there's also an AI traffic that comes specific to this part of the world. So not just Australia, but New Zealand, Tasmania, and Papua New Guinea. So that's kind of fun. I don't have that installed just yet because I just haven't got to it yet. But if you like to have the AI traffic going, it works pretty well. Alright, well, we're going to make the turn up here. There's not a lot going on really in this scenery to the north of where we're at right now, to be honest. There are some towns and some other default sceneries, but there's not a ton of other stuff. Now with the Jacksons, like I say, you get those small airfields, but then there's another scenery you can buy. I don't think it's Orbix related. I'm going to look as I go here and see if I can find it. But anyway, it actually comes, it helps you, or it gives you like another 7 or 8 of those little grass strips. Now I'm not going to be able to remember which one it is, but I do think it's one of the other options that you have when you're in the Oceanic scenery options. So you get, I guess what I'm getting at is it does cost a little bit of money, but I feel like you get a really good value because you're getting like 16 airports for whatever it costs for Jackson's International, $20 or whatever it is. So I feel like you get good value in that. And then of course, if you add it with the Papua New Guinea, the mesh, and then the Australia mesh, it ends up just being a really solid area to fly in. Lots of hours of enjoyment. With Australia, there's also some Orbix freeware, and we're not going to be in Australia today, but I see us spending some more time there. And there's actually a couple of besides Orbix, there's at least one other, I think, really good scenery provider tell you about that, like I said, in another stream at another time. But looks like we're heading in the right track. This is looking pretty familiar again, heading up, just following this little tributary here, and sometimes not the best modeling in the world. You know, it doesn't quite follow where it should, but it's a rough idea. It is cool up here, though. You'll like the waterfall, and it's a little village, and like I say, a nice little, neat little grass airstrip. It's pretty fun. I'm only about 50% successful whenever I try to land there. So that should be entertaining, if nothing else. But if we find this, what we're going to do is turn around and then head back to Kokoda. Just wanted to get this scenery looked at here real quick, and but I plan on being back here often. Like I say, there's a lot of scenery that I've installed just with the Jackson's international scenery. So there'll be plenty of other small airport Wednesdays that we can partake in. So I've had to climb up. I'm about a little over 4,000 now. I'm actually going plenty fast. I think I'm going to start to pull the power back just a little bit. I don't think I need to get much higher. This is a one-way in, one-way out airstrip, so you kind of have to get it right. Not a lot of go-around options in this particular airport. In fact, there's a crash that's modeled at the end of the runway. It's a little bit of a sobering static aircraft. Hey, Downwind Sim checking in, flying around home today. No, we are in Papua New Guinea, actually, flying, testing out a reinstall of a scenery that is attached to Jackson's International, and we are flying from a place called Kokoda up into a place called Emo Mission, and we're inbound here. I would have to say we're, just around the corner basically from Emo Mission, but I haven't been here for a while, so I am not 100% sure that I'm heading up the right draw here. We may be up the creek without a paddle, as it were, but we'll know when we see there's a little village. There'll be kind of a little village on a hill. There'll be a little waterfall off to the left, and then the airstrip is actually going to be to our right hand side here. So I'm thinking it's just around this corner. Nope, there it is. I actually missed it. So I'm going to have to kind of yeah, doggone it, I missed it. Well, there it is. That gives you a feel for what we're trying to hit. I'm gonna fly around this. Never done the approach this way before, but we're gonna try to fly around this little knob here and approach it from the south. Don't hit anything, Downwind Sim says. Yeah, that's the plan. Well, actually, I do want to hit the runway if we can, but it could be a little tricky trying to get around this hill. Might have to actually gain a little bit of altitude here, which is okay because we need to get the speed down. We're going to go ahead, bring the prop lever full forward, climb just a little bit so we can turn head back down toward the airport. So, alright, I feel not bad that I was able to find it, because like I say, it's been a while, but I do feel kind of bad that I wasn't more ready for the approach, and now I have to kind of be Mr. F-16 tight turn guy. At least I'll give you a view of the waterfall. Maybe. I'm going super fast now. Alright, let's see if we can get the speed down in time. Got to get quite a bit of flap action in here. I might have to completely fly back out and back in here, because we're coming up. There it is. I don't have my speed even close. Alright, well, so we'll take one more look as we fly by. We'll wave at the locals. Hey, how you doing? What's going on, everybody? We'll be back in just a second. Why is my waterfall not going? It should be misting out. It's just kind of a trickle right now. Alright, that's kind of weird. Alright, so we're going to come back out here where it's a little bit more, I don't want to say open, but we can turn around here one more time and see if we can make this approach. This is really I think well, at least for me, it's the preferred way. Yep, and there's my village. I don't know how I missed those houses. But that's usually the sign that you got to get ready to, land. But while we're going this way, I'm going to throw a couple notches of flaps in here, just so we can have our speed under control. And with any luck here, this next attempt will be the one. Didn't pay the water bill yet. It looks kind of cool. I mean, it is what it is, and maybe it's because it's actually winter down here. Maybe they're kind of saying it doesn't flow the same in winter time. I don't know, but it does look kind of cool. I'm about to have power off stall here, guys. That's not good. Yeah, let's pay attention to the airspeed, huh? Okay, alright, here we go. I don't mind the speed being around 80, I just don't want it to be like under 60. Yeah, airspeed I found is a good thing. Airspeed is your friend when you're 200 feet above terrain. Well, it's always a good thing, but it's really your friend when you're this low. But alright, so put it in to landing. I have no idea what the wind's doing. It honestly doesn't matter. It's saying winds are 127 at 4 right now, so not much of a factor, but you don't have a choice. You've got to come in, you've got to land one way in, one way out. So we're going to come around here by the waterfall, get a little bit of a free wash of the plane. We're going to try to make it around this hill. We're going to try not to stall and hit this tree or that tree. Oh boy. I'm actually just a hair low here, which is interesting. I'm pretty low, pretty slow. Alright, there we go. That's our runway's in sight. And that looks a little better right now. And we'll just glide her on down. There's a bump there you want to try to miss. We did. I don't mind landing on the uphill slope. A little bit of a bounce. I've got the Tundra tires on there, so that's expected. And keep your speed up so that you can get to the end and then spin it around. Oops, didn't quite get it. Alright, let me show you what I'm talking about with the, see if I can find it out here, what's modeled. There it is. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's not be that guy. That's an interesting thing to have as far as a static airplane, but yeah, you can see where that guy is. But yeah, overall, it's a cool little village, and it's got another static aircraft down there. The name of this field again, this is EMO Mission, EMO Mission, and it's one of those fields again that comes with the Jackson's International Airport scenery. You actually get this, and I think it says 13 other little grass strips just like this that are up in the mountains of Papua New Guinea. So all these mountains up here, they're just dotted with little teensy tiny airstrips, and just like I say, a ton of fun. You can't. The only downside is you can't spawn at any of these, or very many of these. So you can spawn at that. That's why we spawned at Kokoda. That's one of the few that you can spawn at that's down here. But this one you can't spawn at. You have to fly to. And so yeah, we plan on, like I say, doing many other trips down in this area. But for now, this is kind of what we're gonna do. All right, so let's see. We're gonna fly back to Kokoda, and again, if we'll kind of take a look, and if things have cleared out a little bit, maybe we'll even take a look and try to go up and find one of those other fields up in the mountains. Okay, here we go. There's 60. We'll launch off of this. Yep, a little bumpy, but you know, it happens. Alright, and downwind. Yeah, I did a couple flights on VATSIM. Good to be back after a long break. I know you've been telling me about that. Cool, buddy. And Slant Alpha, yeah, he does his controlling on Wednesdays there in the Washington area. So it's pretty cool to get out there and give him some controller love. He does a nice job with that. That's part of, I think, why I like his channel so much, is that he has the perspective as a VATSIM controller and as a VATSIM pilot. He'll be the first to tell you, he's not a real world pilot, he's not a real world controller, but the guy has so much experience and knowledge that you know, really he could easily be one. And in many cases he has every bit as much knowledge as a real world guy. So but I appreciate the fact that he has the perspective from both angles, as a controller and as a VATSIM pilot. Alright, flaps are coming up. We're going to try to pick up a little bit of airspeed here, and looking pretty good. And so again, the basic plan was to fly to Kokoda, or excuse me, to EMO Mission, and make sure that scenery installed correctly, which it did, which is a relief, because it was only a week ago or so that we flew into Angwin Parrot thinking it was good to go, and we ended up having just a scenery disaster. I don't know if you saw downwind, but it was like a layered add-on scenery with a default scenery layer underneath with a secondary add-on scenery. It was like a scenery sandwich. And yeah, when we ended up getting to what P3D considered to be the ground, the walls around us were like 30 feet high, and there were airplanes parked on the top of these like these buttes, and so that was kind of bad. It was a bad way to end a really fun, it was Friday night, I think, actually. It was a bad way to end a Friday night ops, but it was a good flight all the way around. But so both flights, I'm assuming, downwind were up there, Dulles area, Did you get the well, no, Dulles, that's not the river visual, right? That's IAD, isn't it? Which one has the river visual? Reagan? I'm trying to remember. Can't remember. I'd have to look. I'm gonna have a hard time looking it up. First was into Richmond, then into AID. Yeah, awesome. Very good. What airplane were you in? Didn't fly the river. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. What plane were you flying tonight? Nice. Caravan is a solid aircraft, my friend. It's like that comfy old shoe, man. It just fits no matter how long it's been since you've put it on. Very cool. Well, I wish I'd have known. I would have. Well, I couldn't have. Like I say, it's been 12 plus hour days for me the last couple nights, and so oh yeah, you were talking about the VR. What kind of VR setup do you have? What are you using, I guess, for the VR? Okay, very nice. Yeah, I've looked at that. That looks very promising. No question about it. And I've heard really a lot of people that make the jump to VR. They say that exactly the same thing you've said, downwind, is that you just can't go back. It's just impossible to go back to, like, I'm using the hat and yeah, the flat screen, and yeah, I can understand how that would be tricky. Now, does the Oculus, does that have the, like, when you're trying to turn things, does that have the, like, the hand that you know, the little hand that appears on the screen, and it actually reads your hand movements and all that stuff, so that you can push buttons and turn knobs and stuff like that? Or do you still have to use, like, the mouse and you know, that stuff? Okay, cool. Very cool. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you really truly are reaching up to the spot where it should be, and yeah, that stuff. It looks really awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I could see myself. I could see myself doing that, purchasing something similar to that, and because I could see how it would be really immersive, and yeah. All right, well, but that's going to have to be for another day, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. I want to see what it looks like, and I think that's dang cool. All right, I'll remind you. I'm reminding you right now. I was gonna say maybe we could head up here. So this is where. Let me see if I can hop out. If you head up kind of this way and over the top of the hills, that's where the other little small airstrips are. But I don't know that we can get there. I think the cloud cover is just a little too much. And these are not spaces where you can just get up and then change your mind and turn around. It's pretty tight, and so I don't think we're gonna push it. We'll get back to a little closer to Kokoda, and see what it looks like, because you take, it's called the Kokoda Trail, and you can follow the Kokoda Trail up, and then that helps you, or that allows you to get back into those areas. And I did not know that this is not available for X-Plane, but it's only a matter of time. I mean, those guys are doing such great things in terms of scenery development, and Orbix is really doing a nice job of making stuff available on both platforms. But yeah, you would enjoy it. Yeah, boy, I just don't. You get a little bit of blue sky up there, and you're kind of like tempted, like, oh yeah, we can do it. But then you get up in there, and it's ugly. But this is encouraging. If this is kind of a break in the action, maybe we could do that, and we could maybe make our just sort of increase our flight a little bit. I think our airfield is actually right about there, so I mean, we're close. We could bring it in for a landing, but I'm kind of tempted right now. What does that look like? Could we get up there and what time is it? I do have to work in the morning. Alright, you know what, let's just kind of head up that way and see, and if we can make it up there, cool. If not, we'll turn back around and we'll come and set her down. Yeah, right there is the airfield. You can see that row. That's some kind of like banana plantation or something, apparently, that you know, we'll just make a little U-turn and we'll come back around. But I think it's worth a try. Let's go see. What do you think, Downwind? Should we go see what there is to see? This is kind of what I do on my four-wheeler when I'm in the mountains. Oh, I haven't done this trail. Let's see what's around the corner. And then it usually involves a fishing pole after that. Alright, so we're gonna climb. We're gonna, like I say, we're gonna just peek here, and I think we can actually, this is where the Kokoda Trail runs. Well, actually, it's right there. You can see it heading up. So we're actually one valley over from the Kokoda Trail, but I like this visibility a little bit better. And so let's start up this. Start up this little valley and see if we can get over the top of the hills. We're gonna push things in pretty much wide open here. I've leaned it out, kind of maximizing power as much as we can. I should have started to climb a while ago. I was not smart on my have GPS. Yeah, I do, and you know, really the Kokoda is pretty easy to find, because you just have to get on the other side of this ridge here, and it's a big valley. So, and I haven't flown in here a ton, but I have flown enough that I feel comfortable that I could find my way back to Kokoda anyway. What I'm not loving is this. That's gonna be an issue, isn't it? And we're gonna get to a point here where it's gonna be tricky to turn around. This is a pretty doable. You know what, I'm gonna do this. Before I get in here, I'm gonna just do a quick climbing 360. Take advantage of the visibility here. Get myself up, because I think I need close to 8,000 to crest these mountains. So let's spin around. Like I say, a little quick Quick climb in 360, and then we'll start heading back to the south. Wonder what my density altitude is right now. Alright, we'll fly away a little bit, kind of to the south, and let this bird gain. We're getting pretty good climb rate right now, over 1,000 feet per minute. That's cool. Holding our altitude or our speed pretty well. Let's see if we can peek down there. Yeah, there's our airstrip. So like I said, this is a big, you almost can't miss it, and it runs like it runs for miles. Basically, it's almost like a road that cuts through kind of from the northwest to the southeast there. So I feel pretty good about finding this. And I don't know honestly if I even could punch in. I think the code for it is AY. What is it? I'll check my scenery here. Alpha. What is it? I can't even find it now. Alpha Yankee Kilo Oscar. AYKO. I don't even know if it would have it in there. Alright, there's 6,000. Good airspeed. Climbing well. Let's head back in a generally south direction and see if we can't get over the top of these mountains. Maybe find a little patch of blue. If we can get on the other side and we don't have any, don't end up having any problems with clouds on the other side, then that's where we'll start to find those. Just little village airstrips. They're really, really cool. Just somebody that had a lot of time on their hands that just decided to make something awesome. Okay, well, I like this a lot better. I think we're going to be clear of the clouds. I think we're going to be clear of the terrain, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed that the clouds aren't just laying in there on the other side, just like they are right here, because there is a tendency for the weather to do that in this region, where the moisture levels, they just kind of settle in these little valleys, and that might be one of our, sorry for the illegal use of the binoculars there downwind, but that's what those strips kind of sort of look like. It comes with a map, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Let me see if I can search for it. Found a map at one time. Sorry, I'm typing while I should be flying. Kokoda Trail landing strips. I'm going to see if I can locate. Yeah, so there's a well, I'm not going to be able to find it. Well, I should just keep flying. But anyway, there's somebody out there that has, oh, it's in the PDF docs. Yeah, so you can actually probably direct me here, because I'm having a hard time typing and searching while I'm flying and trying to not crash. And it's kind of a neat little layout. Honestly, it's like a little par 3 golf course. in a way. It's got, if you just keep looking around, and again, we're on the wrong side. They're not on this, they're on the south facing slope for the most part. But yeah, a guy could spend quite a bit of time, and I probably should confess that I have spent quite a bit of time trying to locate all these little strips. Hey, Al South. Welcome to Papua New Guinea, man. Check it out. We're trying not to go IMC in super dangerous terrain. We're trying to find these little villages and deliver supplies. That's what it is. We've turned this into, instead of a mission to just check scenery, make sure that the scenery install has worked, we've turned it into a supply mission. Sounds more noble. Happy Wednesday, my friend. On the one hand, that looks not so good. On the other hand, that doesn't look half bad. So are we a glass is half empty or full, or what are we? The sky is half IMC, or the sky is mostly clear? Yeah, you know, Al South, so this whole Wednesday deal is just an excuse really for me to double check that my small airport scenery has installed correctly, and that's exactly why we're over here today. Do I know the direction to Ifogi? Yeah, down. It's below me. Oh no, look at this. This is not good. We should, like I say, we should have some action here just on the other side of this hill. And I'm thinking, yeah, we'll just kind of start looking. Yeah, off the top of my head, no, I don't know exactly where these are from Kokoda. What I do know is this: if you draw a line from Kokoda to Jackson's International Airport, they're roughly located on that line. So, but I'm just going to look. The first one I see, we're going to try to hit. I'm going to descend here and try to stay out of the haze layer. But yeah, Al South. Make sure to follow the railroad. You follow the Kokoda, and so that's already my bad. The Kokoda Gap Trail is actually here to my east a little bit, so I'm going to start heading east. And I'm seeing, what am I seeing down here? I'm seeing a village. I think maybe we are. So we may have our first nominee. Let's descend and just have a little bit of a look-see here, shall we? But the Kokoda Trail is also what you follow, and those take you to the villages that are in the area, which in turn leads you to obviously the airstrips. So I'm kind of seeing one on this ridge line right here, guys. There's our first target. So I'm going to say that's generally an east to west landing airstrip, wouldn't you guys say? Looks like a piece of cake, right? Let's see which airstrip this is. I'm quite a bit above it is the problem, but I think I have plenty of room to sort of maneuver. So we're going to just keep descending, and I'm already descending at kind of maximum rate here. I need to chill out a little bit. I'm going to get my speed down under control. And yeah, if we can find one, then we can kind of get our bearing. And if you've got the map open, we can make an attempt for 2 or 3 of these fields. Alright, I'm kind of on the downwind right now, and I'm going to just take it out as far as I can here, and with any luck, if I can get it leveled out a little bit here, I'll get into flaps range, get the speed under control first, and then turn final. I'm sure I'm going to have to cut quite a lot of altitude. So what there are downwind is there's these little kind of like signs, and okay, we're going to put 4 notches of flaps in. That looks good. We're going to continue our descent. Don't need to get too crazy here, but we're going to try to get it turned and headed back to the east. So there's these little village signs, and they're kind of at the end of the runway, and they tell you where you're at. Alright, we're on a ridge line. Hopefully I haven't dropped too much altitude. I don't think I have. Should be pretty easy to find. Almost back to the east. There it is. Alright. Very good, very good. You can look around if there's others that you notice in the area. We can sure find them, but I think I'm actually halfway close to yeah, you're right. This would be where VR would be super helpful. No question about it. But I think I'm halfway close to the right altitude. That's what I actually have the most problem with these little strips on these plateaus is I have a hard time. It's not really depth perception. It's like altitude perception, and I find myself either too high or too low, and I'm slamming it in there trying to make the landing, or I'm actually climbing up the hill to get to the right level. That's kind of what I did when I landed at Emo. As you saw, I was too low, and I actually had to gain altitude to get to the end of the runway. But yeah, if I had my Oculus Rift, man, I could be really doing a much better job on the turns and less guesswork. All right, flaps to landing. Speed looks very good. I like that, about 70. My altitude is not half bad, I don't think. And as you can see, it's a little bit of a crooked runway, but that's kind of the norm around here. You sort of build on whatever piece of ground you have available. In we come. Speed's looking good still. Might be a hair slow. Flaps full. Trying not to cut the corner. And then the other part that's tough about this is you land and then you have to like gun it to make it up to the top. Alright, here we go. We're down. Oh, a bouncer. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I just did there, guys, but that doesn't look good. Oh no. What have I done? What's going on? Okay. Hate to do this. Let me see if I can. Oh man. I'm trying to just. Oh, this doesn't look good, guys. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I am falling through the terrain, so alright, so what does it look like from the out? Doesn't look bad from the outside. But yeah, that was a little bit of an issue there, guys. But well, it gives you an idea though of what it's all about. Let me see if there's any chance I can kind of probably have busted up my propeller and everything. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Let me see if there's any chance I can kind of slew my way. I don't think I'm going to be able to. It's weird when I hit slew. All right, let me just see if there's any chance I can get back over close to the the runway so that I can find that sign. Where am I at here? All right, so I need to go to my kind of to my right here and forward slightly. I see one of the markers there. I don't know if those are like little cement markers or what they are exactly, but if I can get on the get on the runway here and without bouncing, maybe I can take off at least. Okay, I don't appear to be bouncing right now, so I'm kind of where I need to be. It's where I had hoped to be. So let's look around. Let's see if we can find the sign. So we are at P3D. So while you look at the map downwind, I'm going to see if there's any prayer of getting this thing started again. It may be. Oh, I see fuel pressure coming up. That's a good sign. I am going to give it a little bit of prime. I'll give it 3 squirts here. Fuel pump. All right, pressure's up. Yeah, let's see what happens. Hey, baby. No, wait a second. I know why. I gotta get, okay, that's gotta be full forward. Okay, let's try that again. A lot more fuels to the southeast. Sweet. Hey, it started, guys. All right. Well, so to the southeast. All right, so let me get, I need to get myself kind of oriented here. And, yeah, so we cheated a little bit, but maybe everybody that watches will forgive me because that was interesting. And that could have been too. That might have been me making a too hard of a landing. And that was just, you know, how sometimes when you crash in the sim, it does weird things. So, all right, so I think pretty well lined up. You have to kind of power up and then make a little bit of a left-hand turn here to get going. So you're saying, all right, so right now I'm facing basically southwest. I'm facing 220. So you're saying to me it's like a 150 to 170 kind of a radial, basically, for lack of a better word. And then yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah. All right. Well, let's let's find out, huh? First of all, let's see if I can get off the ground. What are my flaps set to? I need to set my flaps to takeoff. They still work. That's good. Yeah, let's just see. Let's see what happens. Full power. Oh, one thing I need to do first. I need to lean out for power here. So 1700. Let's see what I can get. Kind of my max. Yeah, about right there. All right, here we go. Rock and roll. Come this way, little. Then start down the hill. Pray for airspeed. Oh, don't go in the trees. 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 I'm in the trees. Okay. Hey, we're airborne. Alright, so we're going to turn to about a 150-ish, kind of head up this valley or so. The only thing I don't like about this airplane is just horrendous view out the sides. Alright, so, whoa, wait a second. I went too far. I may have to climb a little bit here, guys. It's looking like I'm down too low. let's climb up and get a little bit of a peek here at what's over the top. Man, I don't have very good airspeed. Alright, what do I have over here? Terrain. Caution. Terrain. I may have to do a little bit of a climbing circle turn again like I did at Kokoda. Okay. Alright, let's we're letting our airspeed build up here a little bit, and then we'll turn, kind of heading the runway heading right now, then we'll turn to the east a little. About 150. Alright, we're up and out. Kind of leaning here forward, trying to see what we can see. I don't doubt you downwind, I know they're there. I'm gonna go into this, I'm gonna get in this valley and see what we can locate. There's a guy named AJ Crowley who has a channel, and he's flown up here quite a bit too, and he actually, it's pretty smart, he's actually marked him on Google Maps and somehow has oriented himself via Google Maps and knows exactly where he's going. He'll fly in and out of, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go to whatever we were, Bondi, and it's right over around this hill. And okay, that might be one on the top of, nope, that's just a little bit of a patch of dirt. Okay, so we're heading 150-ish. This precision navigation brought to you by Downwind Sim. Go that way. The problem that I have is this, guys. If I go too much further that way, I have Mr. Precipitacion I have to worry about. Alright, come on. We got to be able to find at least one more here. And there's, once you get into them, there's just they're all over the place. They're not hard to find. It's just finding a specific one can be a challenge, but I'm sure we'll find it at some point. And they're not far apart. I mean, I think if I understand correctly, the world's shortest passenger route is between one of these two fields. In the field, it's like literally less than a 2-minute flight, but if you had to travel by foot, it like takes you 3 days or something like that. Alright, looking. I do see a village up there. Right? Is that a village? That looks very village-ish. I think we're gonna head. Yeah, and I see a little strip right there. Okay, we're going that way. Oh, but I see one out in front of us here too. Okay, hang on. Now things are starting to heat up a little bit here, baby. I see another one. We have to try at least one more, just because I need to know if it's the terrain that I stole him out of Slant Alpha's plane. Don't tell him, okay? Oh, it even looks like we're kind of inbound, like runway heading here, guys. It's like it's meant to be, fellas. This is gonna happen. Alright, cut the power. I never did pull flaps back. No wonder I didn't have any freaking airspeed. But that's okay, because now I want to go power or flaps to landing. I do want to make sure I make it over this little ridge line. But standard equipment in these parts. Yeah, you know, I think in like with most bush flying, I think it's just kind of like those old timers, those old hunters and trappers and stuff. They just know the terrain, and they know, yeah, over this next hill is this landmark or this airport. You know, those guys, they know, this lake or this creek is over the next ridge. I think these bush pilots, they don't really have probably a map. They just know that, yeah, there's another one kind of, I think you can see up on the side of the ridge there. Nope, take it back. It's just scenery. But all right, well, we'll fly into this one. We'll see if we can do any better here. All right, prop full forward. We're going to start to descend and see if we can deliver these medical supplies. I don't see anything. There was one over there, right? Right down in that little ravine. Anything over here while we're up here? Well, we'll get a bead. I'll check with my trusty navigator downwind sim when we get there. Downwind's tossing. He's tossing links at me like I can open them. I can barely fly this dang thing. I can barely fly and chew gum at the same time. Alright. I think what happened last time too is my speed got a little too low. I like 70. I can live with 60, but I think we got down below 60 and we just sort of fell like a rock. So that's, right now we're too fast. We're too fast. Glide slope looks decent though. Alright, flaps full. Speed's coming down nicely. We'll put a little power back in just to try to keep it more at 70 this time instead of 40 like last time. And with any luck, this will be a little bit smoother. We do have the Tundra tires on, so it's bouncy almost no matter what. Oh, okay. Better. Let's get up to the top of the ridge. So the first landing, that definitely was not a scenery issue, guys. That was a me landing way too hard and basically crashing issue. So cool, that was much better. Okay, yeah, second time's the charm, right? Okay, let's see if we can locate the sign here real quick. Where are you? Where are you? Nothing there. Let me pull forward here a little bit. See if we can figure out where the heck we are. Maybe. All right. I'm not seeing the sign. Okay, make a liar out of me, would you? Anything down here? Sometimes it's down here. I think the campers must have hidden the sign. Yeah. Alright, let me check real quick here. We got a couple of yeah, okay, there you go. There's that's what I'm talking about. There's a screenshot from the emo. That's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you just kind of go right around that little land right in there. So okay, cool. So we went into Bondi, right? That's where we are, and then we flew kind of out. So I'm guessing we're probably maybe one of these Kaji, or I don't even know what to say, but I think we probably also saw that guy down there. Yeah, this is the route that we flew, roughly along this kind of this river, and then we flew up this valley. So you can, if you've got enough of a window, you can actually come here and kind of hit this first little valley and get over the top too. But like I say, that Kokoda Trail is a pretty good way to find all these. All right, so Let's see. What's the name of the, yeah, this airport? So I don't know what the name of this one is, but I think we might be able to find one more here. Let's try to find one more, and then we'll maybe call it good. Is that? I don't know. All right. So flaps to take off, and we do have to. We thought that there was another airport off to, basically to the northwest of us. So full power. Can I free the camera? I probably could. See you guys. Bye, hippies. Alright, we gotta get up. The tree. Oh my goodness, what happened there? This is not good, folks. We're in big trouble. Good thing I installed those super durable props that mow right through trees, just like lawnmowers. The DR trimmer propellers. Holy cow, that was bad. Alright, up and away, up and away. You guys, just pretend like you didn't see that. Yes, I also saw that I have a fuel light. I'm going to go ahead, let's flip it around here. Well, I'm going to gain some altitude just so we can get our bearings here, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't know, and downwind I don't know how to free the camera up in chase plane. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Oh yeah, I do. I was dumb. I know how to do that. Alright, well, next small landing strip will do that. I still would like to have one good landing and one good takeoff before we call it a night, because we haven't had both. We've had one bad landing and one bad takeoff into Bondi. We've got a good landing and a bad takeoff so far out of whatever that airport was. Yeah, the flying lawnmower. It's the DR trimmer addition to the to the DHC. Instead of the DHC-2 Beaver, it's the DR trimmer Beaver, the DRT Beaver. Alright, looking around. Playing Where is Waldo? Nothing there. I know we saw something over here. I know it. Where is it though? But you could see how, though, I bet it's in this valley here. That might be it right there. You could see how air travel could be really important. I mean, you would literally be bushwhacking unless you had some kind of a trail, and not flying into a mountain, am I? Well, not quite. I think I'm going to be in that area over there, almost positive. I kind of recognize that like little rock face over there for some reason. I recognize that tree. That looks different than all the other thousands of trees. Good thing, Al South, good thing this isn't an 808, because I'd be needing to visit the old jungle hangar. There's no question about it. Alright, make a liar out of me. I'm not seeing, I guess, what I thought I was seeing. Anything behind us? No. Now he's a botanist. Hey, listen. I took kind of a hard fall back there. I might have hit my head. I'm not thinking exactly 100% clearly right now. Let me enjoy the pretty flowers for just a little bit. Alright, we're going to head up this valley. This looks like a promising valley. we're going to keep looking around here. And man, I could have swore there was something off just to the north of us here. I'm a Viking, man. I'm way out of my element here. I should be flying the fjords of Norway right now. Boy, oh boy. Okay, well, never mind. I thought I knew where I was going, guys. Yep, let it go. You're right. We're gonna just have to generally make. Here's what we're gonna do. So we had a little bit of luck flying back to the east. We're gonna head back that way just in case we didn't run into all the airports that we thought. And actually, based on where Bondi is, if I'm not mistaken, I should actually be turning to go to the southeast, shouldn't I? So why am I going northwest? I'm actually going opposite of where I want to go. So let's head to the southeast just for a little bit and see if we can find one more airport. And if we can, awesome. If not, then we'll turn back to the north. We'll find our Kokoda Valley, and we'll head back to our yurt there at the Kokoda Valley Holiday Inn. Alright, here we go, over this hill. Got a good feeling about this. His passenger, it's the son of Charles Darwin. Yeah, and I try to give him like a really close look on that one approach. I think there's a Starbucks just right out by the campfire that I'll show you here on when we get back to Kokoda. What time is it? Good Lord, I do have to work tomorrow. Alright, my goodness, it's 9:30 my time. I'm an old man. This is way past my bedtime. What am I doing? The only way to get the bugs is clipping the leaves from the smaller. Yeah, see, that's what I'm doing. Really, I'm shaking the trees, trying to get the new species of insect to fall down, so it's a lot easier to collect. It all makes perfect sense. Oh boy. What's not looking good is all this foggy ground cover. Now wait a second. That looks just a piece of rock over there. It kind of looked out of place. I'm almost thinking I see something over there though, guys. Almost thinking. School's in full swing. Had to wait. Yeah, that's hard, man. I'm telling you. If they do summer right, they build up some rough habits. Students and teachers alike. I'm telling you what. Okay, well, we're gonna just take one quick look. This will be our last pass. I promise you guys, we'll come back to this area when I've got a little more time and I'm not physically so exhausted, mentally so. Well, you know what? Don't go that way. Yeah, I thought this little brown patch was maybe something. Okay, hold on for a sec. Hold on for a sec. Do I see something there? Is that a little village? No, it's not. Alright, well, I am not, obviously not where I think I am. And we are flying, we've been flying kind of southeast for the small, yeah, exactly. That's usually a giveaway with the Orbic scenery, or the other giveaway with Orbic scenery is you hear the birds chirping. Even over the roar of your big radial. Alright, we'll make one last little swing here, generally sort of southeast-ish. And if we don't see anything, then back to Kokoda it is. We will we'll just hope the simulated FAA doesn't give us a call and revoke our bush pilot flying license because of what they witnessed today. However, I'm ready to make a full endorsement for the de Havilland Beaver. You can slam it down into a mountainside and it fires right back up. You have 6 or 7 buddies that can push it back to the start of the landing strip. You can take off like nothing happened. Well, it's going to be tough to pick anything out in this mess, guys, but at least I was able to show you a couple things, and there are really a lot of good videos that highlight this area, and guys that are just genuinely really good at bush piloting and make it look super easy. So we're gonna turn back. We got to go back north here if we're gonna make it back over the top. Probably could bring the RPMs back a little bit so we don't. Geez, I'm cramming. I can't even imagine what our temps were getting a little bit high. We can fry the engine. I have done that before. And so let me come back around again. We're going to head north, and I don't want to be descending. I need to climb. I got to get myself up a little ways here. Like I say, around 8,000 I think is what I needed initially. And if we find something, oh wait a second guys, wait a second, what am I seeing? What am I seeing on this hillside? Is that something? No. Now everything looks like a mountain airstrip, doesn't it? But we'll fly essentially north here, and back over the top. I'll keep looking. I would like one more shot at a landing here and a takeoff if I could get it. Even if it's back at Bondi again, I wouldn't mind. Look for that ridge line. Just not seeing it. Just not seeing anything right now. Darn it. Man, that looks so much like yeah, it's just not though. It's just not. Alright. Let's see if we can't climb out of here. We may have to make again a little 360 to gain altitude. That gap right there looks like the most likely candidate for us. We're not quite to 6,000 feet. And maybe that's what the guy did. Maybe that's the guy down when you're talking. Remember I told you the guy that had it mapped out on his Google Maps. Maybe that's what he did, is somehow. But I don't know how, because he just flew. He was like in a. He might have been in a Beaver, just like me. He didn't even have the GNS 750. He just had regular default equipment. And like I say, he just found his way around. But I'm guessing that he also has put in quite a bit of time. He has a fantastic series also up in Canada and Alaska and the Pacific Northwest. It features the return to Misty Moorings scenery, and he flies his way around that area pretty well too. So I'm kind of feeling like he he just, part of it is he just really knows the terrain very well. He spent time, you know, flying. Man, that looks funny, doesn't it? Little patch of things. It's nothing though. I don't know, we're going to make this ridge, so I think we're going to just really quickly do a 360. Just gain about another 1,000 foot here. Maybe if we're lucky in the turn, we'll pick up a... darn. I was hoping maybe we'd pick up an airstrip on the turn. It's beautiful though, no matter if I'm finding the airfields or not. It's definitely a really, really pretty place to fly, and very thankful to whoever the developer was that decided to come down here and model these little dirt strips, man, because they are a ton of fun, a ton of laughs if you happen to be watching a guy try to crash land and mow down trees and all that good stuff too. All right, man, we're up. If we're gonna see something, we're up as high as we need to be, and we're over 7,000 now. Swing it back around. We're going to try to head again roughly north. We head north, we're going to run into that little Kokoda Valley and find our way home from there. Plenty of fuel. We did exhaust the rear tank, and so we've moved to the middle tank right now, but we're still looking very good there. I've not been a very good steward of the gauges and dials today. Really haven't done a very good job of taking care of the plane in general, but I've sure had a heck of a lot of fun. And like I say, it was a great way to finish up a Wednesday. It's a great way of finishing up 2 days in a row where I've been at work more than I've been at home. 7,005. Man, we're still a little bit low. We must be kind of hitting a little different part of these hills. Got to be a little gun sight notch I can shoot for that'll get me up and over. We're making pretty good power still. We're making 90 knots, so that's a decent climb. And if I had to, if worse came to worse, I'd just do another 360. But would be kind of nice if I could get over the top here this go around. Right here is looks like a pretty good in terms of visibility route. And one last peek over the shoulder. Just not seeing anything, boys. But we did find two. Well, we found three actually, because we found the EMO mission. I don't know if it's EMO mission or EMO mission. And we found Bondi, and then we found a strip to be named later. And with any luck, we'll find Kokoda, and so that'll be 4 in a night. That's not bad for your basic small airport Wednesday. We'll take that. I know I keep saying only one more glance. Might as well keep looking. Yeah. The other thing I think would be interesting is if you had a way to just track your flight path and overlay it on you know, some kind of a map that had these airfields, because I've tried to find the airfields themselves on Google Maps, and you can see them, but it's just really hard to get any kind of a reference. You know, where the heck are you when you're at Bondi type of thing. That looks pretty cool. I think we're going to make this little ridge line. Yeah, and you're exactly right. You just lose your bearings, and there really is, I know you probably don't believe me, but there really is one spot. Well, you can see it on the map that you shared down when Sim, where there's like 5 airports that are all within you know, a couple of miles of each other, and so anyway, that's just, you can fly a little pattern in there, but I've never, like I say, I've never been able to, like, I don't think I've found them all. I certainly haven't ever found them all in one flight, but the most I've ever been able to successfully, I guess, locate has been about 3 or 4, just kind of like what we did. All right, I'm liking this. I think we're doing well. We're redlining a little bit here. Let's bring the RPMs back slightly. This would not be a good place to crash. This is one of those places you know, the locals would find your remains 20 years later. Alright, there's a nice little grass flats area up here, and this is one of the, like, little gateways across the hills, that, like, a little bit of a landmark if you're coming, you know, maybe you're coming back from the Emo mission, on your way back to Kokoda. This is another one of those ridge lines that you can take that more closely follows, I don't know if it shows it, but it more closely follows the actual Kokoda trail. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in here, but we may be able to pick it up on the other side. So we're just about over the top of the mountain, and I don't know if this is, I mean, it looks to me like, when I look on a map, it looks to me like this is definitely a you know, a well rendered little land feature. There's a nice little kind of plateau, and it looks like it doesn't have a lot of trees on it for whatever reason. And I try to use it, like I say, when I'm flying over the top, just to make sure I'm in the right valley, the right drainage. Well, we're not making much manifold pressure up here at almost 11,000, are we? Just about to the max of this bird's limit here. In fact, we're not climbing right now. We're actually losing a little altitude. So we're going to try to, still have pretty good airspeed. I mean, we're still still making 100 knots, and so we shouldn't be in any danger. This wouldn't be a terrible place, I guess, if you had to put her down, but I don't want to if we can help it, because I think we're right over the top of where we need to be. And yes, indeed, I see our nice little valley. Let's get our bearings here. We should actually be pretty close to where we want to come out at. Let's take a look around, see if we can't find our airstrip. Call it a night. Famous last words. we're right. I knew right where we were supposed to be the whole time, downwind. I was trying to test you and your navigation. I actually know where we are. We're in Papua New Guinea. Okay, I mean, that much is pretty easy to figure out. All right, now are we there yet? You know, this kind of is like, when was it? I was flying the DC-3 somewhere, and as the DC-3 can do, I was kind of turning like a 2-hour flight into a long haul because we were only making about 100 miles per hour over the ground. But yeah, this is kind of becoming one of those. I'm almost thinking this may be where we're at here, guys. There's that little river, kind of runs by it. Best last words for me is, I wonder what that red button does. Now that would be my junior first officer. He is drawn to the shiny red, blue, and black levers on my throttle quadrants. Alright, we're looking around. Nope, it's right over there. I can see kind of the little hedgerow, which is good because we took off to the south, so we're going to just kind of almost make like right traffic here and see if we can get down. I think we're like a 1,200 feet or something like that, so we've got a little bit of altitude to lose, but yeah, we didn't come out too far off, guys. Yeah, was I able to find the mountain airports? No, but looks like we're going to at least be able to get back and get downwind sim that Starbucks that he's been craving. While I'm on the approach, I'll just remind you two guys and anybody else that happens to watch this that the next scheduled stream is Friday. They're going to be the Friday night ops is up in the Portland, kind of Seattle ARTCC area, and probably going to break out the DC-8. It's been a little while since I've flown the Greasy 8, so thinking about a San Diego up to Seattle type of flight. Kind of mapped a few things out here, and I think that would be a lot of fun. So Friday night, that's the next scheduled flight, and then Saturday, I'm pumped about this. We may be right back in this bird. We've got the Dog Days of Summer event that's taking place in Alaska, and I'm actually going to go fishing on Saturday, but I think I may be back in time. If I am back, I am all over that. I love bush flying, and I'm going to find some kind of fjord or gravel bar or something, and fly in and out of. So it'll either be this airplane or it'll be the 182 Skylane. I just haven't decided yet, but excited about that. If I'm not back, you know that I've had a really good day fishing. So either way, it's a win-win deal. And so, you know, I'll just leave that out there, and I'll let God take care of what the plan looks like. Of course, there's always on a Saturday, there's always the X factor of the little guy, and if he needs a little pampa time, then he outranks everybody. So, but if we're able to fly the dog days of summer on this Saturday, we're going to do it. And then Sunday, ZDC, they've got a satellite Sunday, so kind of interested in maybe seeing what that looks like, and that'll probably depend a lot on if I'm able to fly Friday and Saturday. I'll probably not be in the air Sunday, just be doing the family thing. But if I'm not able to fly Saturday, I'll probably have that hankering and try to see if I can wriggle down here and get in the air a little bit. So, but that's what the plans are, and I'm hoping to see you guys in the air. But if not, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. You stopping by and giving me a hard time about, you know, my skills or lack thereof. All right, here we go. It's always good to chit chat with you. Oh, and Downwind is asking. Sorry, I've been navigating here. He wants to know if they have drive-through. I tell you what, you've seen me land. I can make it a drive-through, even if it's not planned. It's supposed to be. What are the poppy lights showing right now? I think they're showing all white. Myself. Oh, I don't need full rich. Oh yeah, we're only at 1,200, so we'll go prop lever and mixture full forward. We're gonna keep the speed down. We are a little bit high here, but we'll be able to cut that altitude without too much difficulty. They probably, is this part of the country, does it grow coffee, do you think? It's pretty lush, fertile ground. They grow a lot of stuff here. I wonder if they grow their own coffee. I've always wondered, and I'm not a coffee drinker anymore, but I used to really love coffee. I had to, well, a while back I was supposed to give up caffeine, and I did for the longest time. But man, the hardest habit I had to break was not having my coffee, especially in the morning. And I had a grinder and was able to brew it fresh every morning, and I still remember that smell. And anyway, but I've often wondered what it would be like to, and I don't even know if this is what you could do, you know, but like to pick coffee beans right from the field and take them to a grinder or a French press or something. I just have often wondered how good that would taste. Kind of like catching a Maine lobster, and within a half an hour, you know, having it in the pot. I'm guessing there's probably nothing like it. All right, these are, if I remember right, these are supposed to be banana plants to our right. So thinking a banana off of one of those fresh would probably be pretty good also. All right, on final. I do think this is called runway 9. We're hoping for a little bit better result in our first landing. And that wasn't too bad. Let's try to stay off the pylons. Not too bad. Yeah, Downwind, I'm glad you tuned in, man. I appreciate it. I know it's probably late where you're at, and you also have to work. There's the smoke that Al South is talking about, and that's I'm gonna take you right up there, Downwind, because I think the campers probably have the tourists probably have a little something in their backpack, to brew up for you. So I'm happy also that the scenery has installed correctly. Um, it's a really cool place to fly. It's something that I really enjoy. See those guys hanging out? We're just gonna head right over to them. Look at that tent city. There they are, just hanging out. They don't have jobs. What do these people do? What do they do with themselves? All right, let's cut the motor. Yeah, they got a pretty good setup, I think. Look at that. That ain't half bad. That guy's like painting or something. What's he doing? Or is he reading a paper to his grandson? Look at that lady. She's chilling, kicking the leg back. None of them have a beverage though. That's the thing. No, there's not a cup of coffee to be found. These guys here just hanging out, probably waiting for a different plane to come in. They're like, I ain't getting on that red one. His plane's all dented up, man. All right. Well, hey, looking for the Dairy Queen. Yeah, that guy's doing the same thing. He's like, where's the DQ, man? It's got to be here somewhere. They don't. Well, no. So part of the history of this place is actually it's a pretty well-known like adventure seeker trekker destination, and you can't. So you can see it. So that's called the Kokoda Trail, and so that's apparently a very famous trail, and I don't know. I don't know why you'd go there because it's like also one of the most lawless, dangerous countries in the world right now. But it's like a backpacker's bucket list, if I understand correctly. So anyway, but yeah, interesting place. I'll visit it in the flight sim world. I don't see myself ever going there probably in the real world, but you know, to each their own, right? Okay, fellas. I tell you what, I'm gonna call it good for tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you have a good Thursday, Friday. Hope to see you again later on this week. We'll be checking out the TCast, looking for you. So until then, you guys have a great night. Take care, and God bless.